Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Corner Vlog Talk podcast. It is officially the start of the 26-27 season. It's your boy John here, first time hosting the pod as the reigning champions of your Premier League. And
That's
to
what you
do
bring me here
so,
for, way.
indeed. Hey, I bring the last four different Premier League champions on the show, bro. That's why the kill couldn't come, because Leicester was in between. With that though, guys, well, they asked for different ones, Brandon. With that in mind,
Fair enough.
I have you. Was it good, my guy?
So I just noticed here, like, three of these hosts have something in common that John don't. And they can say that at one point they host this podcast as a European champion.
As expected.
Okay, cool. Just clarify that. But yeah, always good to be back. Sorry about the mess in the background.
I can promise you, if he didn't say anything, nobody's gonna notice anything.
Okay, cut that out. But I couldn't, in the middle of my room cleaning, I couldn't say no to the
Liverpool transfer business behind you, on yes?
Yeah, that's the paperwork for Bacala right there. You see it? That's why nobody moving. But yeah, back to you, John. Back to you.
Yeah, we have Brandon. Brandon, what's it good, my guy?
I am good. It's good to be back. I hope the season is good to all of us. It was only good to one of us last season, unfortunately. But hopefully it's better for everybody this season.
And last but not least, the man who is mourning the loss of his greatest ever manager, one of the greatest managers we've ever seen. And I think yesterday, just put more salt in the wounds, we have Virgil. What's good, bro?
I mean, yeah. Honestly, if you didn't remind everybody that, Arsenal's current champions, and if it didn't happen, it has so much things happened from since then. We all forget about that.
It had plenty happen. All right, guys. So as the title would suggest, we are here to do predictions of next season, right? However, I wouldn't lie, guys. It's felt like football has, it just never seems to stop at this point, really and truly, and it feels like there is a never-ending cycle of it. And this season kind of felt to me like, wait, it coming up again. So I was gonna just kind of give everybody our 1 minute to just kind of see where they're feeling about their club heading into the season, as the day that is coming out is going to be Tuesday. We're recording this on Monday. It's only 4 days till the season starts. And obviously there's time for the window and stuff like that. But just, 1 minute quickly. So, Virgil, I'll start with you, bro. How do you feel about City heading into the season? Feel free to discard yesterday as well.
Nah, but I mean, obviously the biggest talking point is, the fact that after, 10 years, new manager at the helm, and you can't really escape the news from yesterday, with one of our best players moving on. But as I say, all those things and all these things happening from since end of last season. If you're talking about, a lot of players, a lot of core players leaving the club as well too. So you kind of really don't know what to expect. It's like the first time really you're going into a season not knowing what to expect, not knowing who to turn to. So it just seems that everybody, even the fans, still trying to figure out things right now. So I can't say. I mean, obviously yesterday, 50-50, anything could happen. Shout out to Arsenal still, but I feel like everybody right now just waiting. Fans and all don't even know what to expect.
Yeah. Johan, how you feeling going into this season, bro? New manager, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, when Slot got his sack and we appointed Earl, it's a very optimistic time. But I think since then, similar to what Virgil said, right? You just waited. No business really been done other than signing World Cup winner Victor Munoz. Only 2 GA behind Lamine Yamal in that tournament, by the way. Oh, you see that? I was Brandon to leave my brother. And Jeremy Jacquet, exciting player, but with Mo Salah leaving, it feels weird with Andrew Robertson not there as well. It doesn't feel like the Liverpool squad of the that the last few years have enjoyed and loved watching.
I mean, only Alisson and Virgil remaining at this point.
Hey, respect Joe Gomez, bro.
All the teams that started the Champions League final.
Yeah. No, so it's transitional. Definitely, it's seismic, as you said, and it's the great unknown. Really, I don't know what to expect.
So everybody here get their turkey kit yet? Because as our Besiktas fan, now,
that league look entertaining.
You see Trabzon Spor, and I really hope I pronounced that correctly.
I was gonna say I was even gonna want to try and pronounce it.
But I believe that they are also signing Darwin Nunez.
Yes, they are.
Trabzon Spor.
I definitely know who you supported. And then Fenerbahce have Ake, and a few other people as well.
Aki and Saltfish, I good. I'm a Trabzonspor fan since last week, and I get in both kits. So, a Nunez and
Brandon,
a Salah.
you get to give us a minute of how you feeling heading into the season.
Yeah, well, I hope that's not like how the season gonna go for Chelsea. I hope it just go fall off at at the start.
Who knows? It might foreshadowing Alonso.
But it's interesting that three of the four of us have a new manager coming in, and I feel like it's gonna be quite an interesting season. Because I said to you all a long time ago, this is gonna be one of those seasons where the whole league is gonna feel new. Like there's so many things that have changed and everything, and particularly with Chelsea, like we've bought, I think it's 11 players we've bought, so that's like a whole new team. But I waited for you to say, well, we do this every season,
Bro,
But
I'm not even saying anything, bro. My love for football is so dying. So.
yeah, optimistic.
Brandon, what Turkish side you supporting, bro?
I don't know, Başakşehir here, Istanbul.
Wait, how did Chelsea players go to Turkey this summer? Not that I know of. I mean,
I know Demba, but I was there for a while, so I mean.
Demba, bro, this decade.
No way.
Nah, but Kante still at Fenerbahce.
No, is he?
That's
Well, I think so.
Really?
Fenerbahce actually have a very good team, by the way.
No, they have an inside. Alright, so like we did last year, we're gonna discuss the league in tiers, right? So I'm gonna reiterate the tiers, but at the start of everyone, I'll say it again. We have 18 to 20, which is those relegated. Those who just avoided relegation, which is 14 to 17. Those that are firmly mid-table, which are 9 to 13. Then the other European competitions is 6 to 8. And then 1st to 5th, we actually will give you guys like who finished in each one of those slots, right? But at this point, guys, 5th Premier League is kind of guaranteed to be Champions League spots, unless teams all of a sudden start to completely fall apart in Europe. So we're gonna start off with the relegated teams, and we're gonna go around and let everybody say their 3 teams, and then after that we will discuss. So you go first, then Virgil, then Brandon, and I will. So
pull
the
up
3
let
teams
me
you
pull up
have
the old
going
chat, bro.
down.
Yeah, we pull up my notes there. So
Also, guys, the reason we do it this way is so like if somebody you say was going to finish 10th, finish 11th or 12th, it's like, all right, guys, like we kind of figured it was around there. It was gonna be, Yep. Yeah, Johan, go ahead.
So I think Ipswich will go right back down. I don't know if that's a popular opinion. That's just maybe, again, I have been kind of unplugged. I've taken a look, but I looking at some of the other teams, this is decisions I've made. I think, unfortunately, Hull will go down as well. And then I also think, surprise, this is a nasty one. I think Crystal Palace will go down. Or they'll be in a dogfight. And that might be one that's hot, but yeah, I don't know if you guys agree.
No, fair. Virgil.
Now, good thing I could save my breath because I have the exact same tree going down. I have the exact same tree.
My guy.
Brandon.
Wow. Unplugged FC. Starting off hot and early. Well, I actually have 2 of the aforementioned teams, which is Ipswich and Hull. But I am running it back one more time. I think Brentford will get relegated, bro.
this one's like J. Jonah Jameson and Spider-Man.
No, that's actually
okay.
Crazy.
Can I just put my little piece there?
So you would you got a chance, right? So I want to say mine, but it just is very funny given where I put Brentford, right? My trio. Also crazy. This has to be the first time that we all predict the same team to stay up, though. So I also have Coventry staying up. Obviously,
because Coventry have these streets, bro.
However, the one team that I have going down, and thankfully it's a different one, is Arsenal B, Fulham. I think Fulham.
Oh really?
Oh
wow!
Interesting.
So we're gonna get into it. Okay, guys. So who wanna go first? Brandon, you said Brentford, and Brentford is the team that finished highest last year. Why do these two also choose somebody who in the Europa League? Because they win the Conference League.
Whoa.
So, yeah. All right, I'll go ahead, Brandon. Go first now. Why do you think Brentford will be going down?
Okay, so like I feel like this is for 2 reasons, right? One, I am almost certain, this could be famous last week, but I'm almost certain Igor Thiago is not going to have the season that he had similar
to last season. So you're saying
he's
going to play more games outside 3 p.m.?
No, sir. He is going to be televised more. which means he will score less goals. And the other part is, I think that there's going to be a giant shift in the league in terms of everything, like how a game is played generally, because of the new rules and stuff that they've put in. And I think
Right.
a team that will suffer the effects of that will be Brentford.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to be like they're going to be like real bad and they're going to be like 20th or whatever. I just feel like coming down to the end of it, I feel like the quality will just be too much, and it'll be kind of sad. But I think this is like from last season. Everybody thought that they would have gone down, and then they like severely overachieved, and I just can't see something like that happening twice. So I feel like this is probably the season where it will probably fall for them.
Fair.
Did they have any big outgoings, Brentford?
Not that
Can't
I
remember
know
any
of.
top.
Not that I can
No.
remember off the top of my head.
But no,
Yeah.
that's fair enough, bro. I mean, obviously, one of these managers spoke about it recently about how like changing rules does dictate play style of League Nine. Now we have no idea until the league actually start, like how strong this is, how strong that is. What they allow, what they don't allow. So you're right, and they were one of the teams that relied on set pieces heavily. I think them and Spurs had the highest percentage of their overall goals coming from set pieces. So yeah, that's fair enough. To a wall, you have Crystal Palace. So you want to go first now? Why you take current UEFA Conference League winners Crystal Palace going down?
Bro, the Europa League winners nearly went down last year. That's one thing.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And the year before that. So anyway, so Palace finished a whopping 4 points above Spurs last season and 6 points above West Ham, who went down, right? I just think in losing Oliver Glasner, that's like a crazy thing in general to deal with. He kind of was a miracle worker when you look at him. He really put that kind of identity and a personality that Palace didn't have. Because before that, Palace was just like, at least for me, I'm like, oh my god, I had to play Palace as a bogey team. But
Yeah,
I don't think they
yeah.
had that kind of level of respect that they had under Glasner. Under Glasner, you're like, oh good, they could beat people. This guy that they got in from that club, PSG.
From Lens.
From
Yeah,
Lens,
Sarge.
yeah. So Lens
Yeah.
obviously playing really good football. They just beat PSG in the French Super Cup, right? Good guy. He definitely plays some interesting football. I've seen some videos on Lens and follow their progress, but I'm not sure if he has what it takes to just make that seamless transition. Not many managers do, right? Make that seamless transition across to the Premier League and kind of keep them up. And yeah, I'm not sure. Do Palace who's there? Like I think they have a hard run in the first couple games too, right? If I remember correctly.
Probably.
But
We can check
yeah,
it
I
after,
mean,
obviously.
yeah, we can check it after, but it is looking like a difficult prospect, and I think Virgil, you could probably build off that too if you have anything to say.
Yeah, because I mean, just the simple fact that Glasner is no longer there. I feel like this season Crystal Palace not going to have the same identity. So they're going to be like this whole new team. And remember, they'd also
Yeah.
lose some key players as well. So I feel like that main thing. I feel like it's a big impact with Glasner not being there. And I mean, come on, just last season we see a former Conference League winner going down. So
And Virgil is a
not
key point I
far-fetched.
forgot too, right? Like they will be also playing in the Europa League because they
Yeah,
won the
yeah.
Conference League, right? So
Yeah.
that stretching the squad a little thin. They
Mind
were not the
you,
best player in the
all I
world
say this,
in Rio Cardenas. Yeah,
their
sorry.
last two friendlies, they lost 3-0 in both of them. So I mean, fair enough.
New manager. Let's see what happens. I think it will be with them near to where they finished last time, which was around this space, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Virgil?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All on if you let go of talent like Rio Cardenas, then
Exactly.
yeah,
exactly.
the season.
There's vendetta in this,
Yeah,
There's
this
some
is-
vendetta in
Nice
this.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have my Cardenas kit right here.
I know,
The
but
Palace kit.
when you see my log with a Cardenas Bristol City kit, yeah.
Dog, I get that Bristol kid, bro. Like, that is so
Yeah.
fire. I'm actually
Bro.
so proud that he go in there, actually, though, because he go
Yeah,
in
for
play,
real. That's
you
a
know?
big thing, right?
Yeah.
But Virgil, outside of Palace, I wanted to ask so that we can start to talk about this, right? Because we all seem in unison that Coventry staying up and Hull and Ipswich going down, right? Part of the reason I felt confident about Coventry staying up is I'm well aware that if you on camera was on, he's going to roll his eyes when I say this. And I am well aware that this is an extremely unpopular opinion. But I do think Lampard is actually a pretty decent coach, right? And I do think it's a bit unfortunate how certain things have played off in his career as a coach. Oh, well done. Well done, well done, well done. But I do think he's a good coach, and I really do like some of the players that they brought up. Like one of the key things I think
Yeah.
that they that clubs miss in moments like this is to bring up some guys who are accustomed playing in the league now, And I think
Mm-hmm.
Taiwan one is a big one that helps swung it in my mind that they could stay up. They also brought up Hammer that was in the EFL team of the season
Hammer played for
at
them
the end of,
before. Huh?
and Hammer did
Yeah,
play
he
for
played
them
for them
before because
before.
it was a homecoming as well. And they also signed, I can't remember his name now, but this midfielder who played for Ghana who was really good in
Caleb
the World Cup as
Yarenki.
well. So they
He
made
scored
some
a
good
goal
signings,
against
you
Panama.
know.
Caleb
So
Yarenki.
And then like
why?
Haji Wright was like I think the third
Yeah.
top
Yeah,
scorer in the
Yeah.
championship
correct.
last season, and
Frank
So
Onyeka.
yeah,
and
Onyeka is there
and
too. Yeah,
and
that's true.
Coventry signed the goalkeeper this season last year as well from
Carl
them. I try to
Rushworth.
remember his name. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
who was on
Yeah.
loan from Brighton. So I do think, and I mean, look, not everything is signings, right? But I do think some of the approaches, with the exception of like somebody like Xhaka, it similar to how Sunderland approached the window
Yeah.
last year.
Yes, agreed.
Like I could see some parallels and like how Robbie came in. It's like freaking like Tyrell, like Tyrell's like a B-Tech version of Robbie and them kind of things, right? So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so a little bit on Coventry, but also why I think Holland and such just damned. Like clearly we
Nah,
don't know
but
we giving them a chance, they damned.
but just like what you mentioned, I honestly feel Coventry, they may have subconsciously did it or not, but I feel like they really take some elements of Sunderland from last season because they kept a lot of the players and they brought in some good players as well too. So I feel like they still have that core. But I mean, just looking at, I mean, in the Premier League, is very common for a lot of newly promoted teams to just go right back down. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
out of that
Yeah.
three, Coventry is the only one I could see that actually did some smart business. I feel everyone else seems more of like sideways results. I
Yeah.
feel like it's not really that big of an improvement. And we know with the quality in the Prem right now, a lot of the mid-table teams have a lot of world-class signings as well. So I really don't feel that they'll be able to keep up with the pace of a lot of these teams. I remember the Prem, you had to hit the ground running. You see case of going like Wolves last season. If you do hit the
Yeah,
ground
boy.
running, yeah, it's a big problem.
Bro, one of the funny things so like I had watched one of these videos on YouTube that was like a 20 versus 1. It was like 20 different Premier League fans, right? A Hull fan was like the reason he think they could stay up is because they not ashamed of themselves. He said we not coming up to play pretty football. We coming up to smash it log to McBurney and just try and play off the man. And I'm like,
Yeah.
in 2026, we talk about this like this can't work. However, fellas, I'm really sorry. There's no way Ipswich and Hull going down because unfortunately, Aidan has also predicted that Ipswich and Hull, along with Fulham, going down. And then the Keel also predicted that Ipswich and Hull and Bournemouth are going down. So
Bournemouth,
all
okay.
Wow.
6 predictions we have along Ipswich and Hull going
Yeah.
down. So
If you have
Bournemouth?
money,
damned.
put it on Holland Ipswich staying up now.
we
Yeah.
damned. Like we so damned at
Yeah.
this point.
Bro.
All right,
We
cool.
talk about
Hull.
Hull at all?
You have anything you want to say about Hull? Go ahead now.
Okay, so one thing they signed this fella who everybody rated last year, which is Lucas Gonadouat from Salzburg.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Which
dog,
is such a
they
surprise.
kit real fresh though.
It is.
They kit
It is.
real hard. I might buy one, genuinely. It's pretty tough. Okay, that's all I have to say.
All right, guys. So we go up to 14 to 17, right? So
In
in
hold on,
my
yeah,
sure.
sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Sorry. If there's one thing with Hull though, like if I'm not mistaken, I think I could be wrong, but I think like they have like the most important Premier League experience in McBurney. And like it might sound strange, and I know he's been relegated a few times, but it's the fact that he's played the Prem before, I think that will help them a little bit. So I mean,
You mean kind of similar, like how kind of Mitrovic went through that 1 year. Actually started to play really well after 2 years of not so well. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, I really hate us having these conversations and it's be like, yeah, but they damned, like they just gonna go down, And like I hate that now, but I have not seen it off from them. And even Ipswich, bro, like I saw Ipswich confirm Enciso today, which is a good move. I like Enciso, but like I just don't feel like it's enough, bro, And I mean, when we look at the teams that were down there last year, Leeds, obviously Spurs, Palace was in and around there. Like, I think those teams did what they could do so far in this window to try and improve themselves. Obviously, we talk about Spurs at these ties higher up, right? And like you have to do a lot to try and close that gap to make yourself a contender. And I didn't feel like I get that vibe from them. All right, guys, cool. So for me, in 14 to 17, and we'll go reverse order. So Brandon, Virgil, and Johan, I have Coventry in that area, and Palace and Leeds. No, that's not correct.
I think it was
Sorry.
13 to 17, right?
No,
Nah, 14 to 17.
14 to 17. No, sorry, Ollie. I read that wrong. I go on reading somebody else owning and thinking, in my mind, I know that I know what I had. Right, 40 to 17. I have Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sunderland, and Coventry. Brandon?
Damn. Okay, but based on that, we're gonna have some big differences from here.
Yeah.
So my 14 to 17, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle.
Say that again?
Brighton, Forest, Palace, and Newcastle.
Wait, you have Newcastle where?
14 to
14 to
17.
17.
So just in that range, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Now for me, I have Forest, Brentford, Coventry, Everton.
Forest, Brentford, Coventry, Everton. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we don't have a consistent team yet. Man, you on?
I have in mind in no particular order.
Yeah.
Sunderland, Coventry, Fulham, Everton.
Fair enough. All right, so I will start it. So, like, anybody didn't have Newcastle in this area? You?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So,
I didn't have Newcastle.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard it across all you. I think, guys, with Newcastle is just a case for me. I just seriously way too much upheaval in one window, bro. I mean, they was
That's
already struggling from losing Isak last year amongst some really abysmal transfer business last year. However,
lost the
this
coach
window, they lost the coach, they lost the captain, they lost the midfielder who's playing next to the captain. I think all our Liverpool are supposed to miss the start of the season. They lost the one person who crossed double digits in goals last year for them. And I just think it's just too much, you know? And couple that with, I have no idea. Like, so I did read some of what the new coach was supposed to bring up, and he's supposed to be like, when I'm Leipzig pressing coaches.
Bro, I'm not reading no tactical.
Given that
he's
Nagelsmann impressed
Saudi
me
League
so much, I just chose to brush that aside at this point. And yeah, I don't know what he's gonna bring. I don't think I did like some of the players they targeted in the window, but you know them game players over the line is an issue in itself. But yeah, that's part of the reason I had them down there. I guess Coventry kind of self-explanatory that we think that they'll stay up on just about. And Sunderland for me, Sunderland spent the second half of last season completely overperforming their metrics, dog. Like these men was finishing games with less than 5 xg, but somehow less than 0.5 xg, but somehow would have scored 2 and then not concede any. I think with Europe, I think someone does catch up to them, but I still think that they would have enough quality to stay up, you know, and that it wouldn't be an issue for them. Bournemouth, again, a case of where a new coach is coming in after being so embedded in the way that Iraola has them playing, as well as they're going to miss Krippy for the first couple of months. They're obviously going to miss some goals there. It's a case of seeing how Evan Nielsen and these guys come back. Although I did, again, in the same video I watched, Bournemouth fan was like, we didn't have Clive for most of last season. I didn't know that they was missing the penalties that much, but yeah. And they also lost their set piece coach, which I think is very important. I think just to note because they had some of the most creative set pieces I saw for them last year as well. And so just like, you know,
look where the game gone now.
And this fella too, I forget about it. They lost Marcos Senesi, you know, who, and I'm well aware that we kind of agree at this point that don't worry, guys, they're going to just replace these men, you know.
No, but they got that fella, Andre Silva or something. What's his name?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Antonio Silva.
If you would just excuse me of how I might feel about signing somebody from the Portuguese league right now, I might not be the most positive given some personal individual experiences. So yeah, and plus they signed this right back that the last time I saw him was when he played for Sevilla against Martinelli. And Martinelli literally had 12 dribbles against him, man, which probably says more about him than Martinelli at this point. So, yeah. Brandon, why don't you go through your picks now? Explain.
So this is kind of like I think Newcastle is kind of self-explanatory. I think like
Yeah.
it's really fallen apart at this
Yeah,
point.
well,
Like literally every single good part about their season last season is gone. Like Tonali, Bruno, Gordon, like they literally are relying on Harvey Barnes, like to be
Harvey
like that guy
Barnes.
from
The
next season.
equalizer.
If they're gonna like if their whole shtick is that they're gonna be strong defensively, I don't know if that's gonna help them go in like
Do you
getting
think that
anywhere in the league.
Do you think they'll have Hall by the end of the window?
I wouldn't be able to tell it.
A
I
block of
can't say for
holes.
sure. I can't say for sure. But yeah, I just don't see I just not seeing the attacking power, and like even if Voltemada is the main man up top, like I actually forgot Voltemada was playing for Newcastle this morning. Like I completely forgot about that, and I don't know who's gonna get him the ball. That's the next thing. So
Yeah, well.
that's just the thing. I kind of share all the sentiments for Palace a little bit, but I just feel like they have too much firepower in Mateta and Ismail
That's
Assar
it.
to go down.
Did you all see
Forest
this
is
thing
a
about how Mateta was saying that the knee thing he found in his medical?
Yeah, that Palace didn't pick up on it, and it helped Palace then now to assess him properly so he could heal properly.
Yeah, I just feel like Palace have too much firepower to go down. I feel similarly about Brighton as well. It's just that I also feel Brighton overachieved for a lot of last season, and I feel like Van Heck is going to be a really big loss for them.
Facts. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna bank on some of the players that they had performing for them last season. I mean, like, I know I said Cardiolo was really good last season, but I mean, like, apart from him, I don't know if like I don't know what Mitoma's situation is gonna be for the entire season, and then maybe somebody like Ayari or something just does well for the rest of the season, but not something I would really bank on. And Forest as well. I mean, like losing Anderson. I had to tell somebody yesterday that Anderson won the most duels in the top 5 leagues in Europe last season. And I don't know how he has replaced something like that very easily. And I feel like without Anderson, I think like they would have definitely gone down last season. And I mean, I know they had Europe last season as well to 10 with, but I just not see them. I'm not seeing them being that great this season as well.
That's
So, yeah.
fair. Johan?
Yeah, so at Everton, Fulham, Coventry, and Sunderland, right? That's what we're talking about. That there. Apologize for technical difficulties, guys. But yeah, Everton, I think pretty self-explanatory. I think they always hover around that range. It is really a coin flip with them. In terms of even their preseason results haven't been that great from what I remember in the performances. I've seen a lot of flack on socials about that. But yeah, I think we mentioned Coventry. I think again, just being if you're a team that comes up, that's kind of the expectation. Sunderland really broke the mold last season with that incredible performance. I think basically what you said again, Brandon, just in terms of this season with Europe as well, they'll have enough just to stay up. Fulham, I think Marco Silva's a big loss. We kind of forget the impact he's had. I think at Fulham, and sort of turning them from a team that used to kind of slingshot into a reliable mid-table team, right? Obviously, Abeloa coming in, he had a lot of good players in Madrid. I'm not sure how good those players are at Fulham. And you know what? They lost their best player, Harry Wilson, right? So that's a big deal for them.
They also lost Jimenez.
They also lost Jimenez, right? So exactly, you see what I'm talking about here. So that's really it. Is for them, I think some good signings from Madrid, but at the end of the day, I don't know how much would you expect Real Madrid Castilla to stay up at the Prem and be the top half? No. So I think it's a similar situation here, right? And yeah,
Bro,
I think
it's so funny. In going through it, right, I didn't even explain why I had Fulham down there, right? Because I have them getting relegated, right? I mean, I don't think they're going to be bottom. But, like, it's for all the same reasons you're saying, right? Like, for example, right, Harry Wilson and Raul Jimenez scored 19 goals. Is it 19? Yeah. They had 19 of their 47 goals last year. That is just under half of their goals they just lost.
exactly.
And they weren't a high scoring team, Now, I do think that this Gonzalo fella, he does look decent,
He's
I
good.
don't think that he's a
decent,
bad player.
But he's not Raul Jimenez.
And his name, and just say like I thought Arbeloa was coaching so fantastically that I'll be honest, the move did surprise me that he did come to Fulham. You know, he probably did pitch them that, I can get a few discounts on some Real Madrid players, help the marketing and whatnot, right? But, and then, yeah, I fully agree with Marco Silva. I think it's a huge loss, bro. Like, he's been doing such an underrated job, but I'm spending peas to be supporting the man in the window.
Mhm.
So, and I do think this is probably just the time that it does actually catch up with them. That losing somebody as big as Marco Silva, losing somebody as big as Raul. By the way, dog, I am so hoping Wolves come back at one time, dog. Now,
Me
all
too.
this city kit that they even have this here, it feels so Wolves,
Much like that.
dog. And worse than Raul Jimenez there. But yeah, and then losing Harry Wilson, bro, who was the player of the season last year. That's some big losses. That's some really, really big losses. I mean, I think they also banking on players who had underwhelming seasons last year when they came in to probably do better. Probably most notable, Kevin. But like, I don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, Virgil, you're four between 13 and 17. Anything you want to talk about, expand, explain?
Yeah, it's because I had Forest, Brentford, Coventry, Everton. I feel like same that you had mentioned too with Everton. I feel Everton has always been, hovering in that spot. I feel like and I also feel at the end of the transfer window they will lose some more players as well. And I feel like it might not be some big names, but it also be like those core players, like how they lost Dwight McNeil. I feel like those are actual leaders and those core members of the team.
Bro, them signed Brendan Johnson, though.
hmm Yeah,
That was so random, dog.
yeah,
Like, why?
it's a random thing.
The Welsh Messi.
hmm But yeah, I feel like Coventry. I feel like Coventry will definitely have a good decent season by their standards and be in
Yeah,
that
of
category.
course. Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like the two main ones they will be Brentford and Forest. I feel like Forest is a team that has lost one of their best players of last season. I feel like there might
Yeah.
be some other outgoings as well on Forest's end, but Brentford too. Brentford. I feel like Brentford just been on this decline. I feel like been on this decline for them right now. I feel like for this season they are going to struggle a lot. I feel like a lot of what they resorted to has been, it might not work this season. And like we mentioned too with Thiago, I don't feel like it's going to. I don't feel like they're going to strike twice. I feel like they're going to struggle in attack and be exploited a lot next season.
Bro, it's not lightning. All they need to do is get them less 3 p.m. kickoff slots
Yeah.
and the man will gonna be in trouble. All right, cool, guys. Let me move up again. Virgil, give us the 5 teams you have between 9th and 13th.
So I have Sunderland, Bournemouth, Leeds United, Newcastle, and Fulham.
Nice. Yuan?
So I have Newcastle, Brentford, Brighton, Forest, and Bournemouth.
Nice. Brandon?
I have Sunderland, Bournemouth, Fulham, Coventry, and Everton.
Nice. And I have Leeds, Palace, Everton, Brighton, and Forest. I feel we probably more or less all say the same team so far, except
Mhm.
except I didn't say Brentford. This is always good podcasting. This is always good podcast. Yeah, I just want so spoiler. I have Leeds as not just in this category, but I have them, which is such a 360, bro. Well, not 360, 180. From what I said, but I have them as my surprise overperforming team for the season, right? And then they are in 9th. And bro, I think signing Harry Wilson and Trafford is just two absolute huge signs. And I think part of also, guys, I don't know if I see this, but Calvert-Lewin is like having a fantastic preseason. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
like where does come from again, right?
John, one thing,
And-
I agree with your points there, but I think if I are listening correctly, I don't think anybody else mentioned Leeds yet. Did y'all mention Leeds? Like,
Now,
so
No,
does that mean we
somebody-
all have Leeds a little higher? or-
in my category, yeah, I lead in the 5.
Oh,
Okay,
fair.
okay. All right.
Okay, cool. Well, then I
Yeah.
won't go to it up. But yeah, outside them, I also had Palace, Everton, Brighton, and Forest. So obviously, you all had Palace lower. So one of you all had them relegated, right? And I fully hear all the reasons. Like, look, we kind of caveated this at the start of the year where, like, it does feel like going this season, everybody's going to have a fresh chance to set where they really are in the league. And so like there's so many pros and cons for so many teams, and it could swing very wildly within the team, right? One reason I put Palace this high though, even with the Europe, was that one, outside of LaCroix, I don't think they actually lost anybody massive. I love the Sangare signing from Lens last year because he was one of the best players in Liga last year. They kept all three strikers on their books, and I think keeping Mateta and Larson in particular was big ones. They brought back Gesson, who had a good end of last season with them, and they also kept Sar. Even though I've been kind of peddling, I feel like we should have signed this man. But that is besides the point. They keep Sar, who scored 20 goals for them last year, though. Like
All against Liverpool.
And they have
Yeah.
Dwight McNeil now.
Yeah, and I think Dwight McNeil in that setup, this actually tend to be pretty good. Like not no output monster, but like he sounded really well. So like I really liked, especially Sangare signing. Canvo is somebody they expecting to be able to take up the mantle from LaCroix going into next season as well. I'm not just saying that, I said I read a lie. So I think that they'll do pretty decent there. Everton, yes, same way. And I would say just about Brighton and Forest is, I think Brighton is one of those clubs that tend to have enough good players that they should be able to manage the Europe demands and the league demands. So we'll see. Obviously, losing somebody like Welbeck after probably his best season ever. I think it might have been his highest goal scorer season ever.
It might have been, yeah.
It was definitely one of his best seasons since probably his early Arsenal days. He definitely didn't score that much for us. Probably we're looking all the way back to United. It's a big loss. But with Forest, I know that replacing Anderson is a huge hole to fill, but I do think at the same time they get obviously a fantastic coach to bring in there, and I do think that when we saw on Nuno Espirito Santo some of the similar setups that he used then, how it made a lot of their players thrive, I think that there's some players now who would also thrive under those circumstances. I'm looking at some of his defenders actually to be in this wing back system. Like Olaine, I think is set out that he should have a really good year on the class. Yeah, on the left side as well. So like, yeah, I think that they have a good side to attack this season. So yeah, obviously we'll see what's going on.
Do I have Fulham the highest?
Yeah, you
might.
definitely do.
Yeah.
You definitely do. But I know that you've said that you were fans of some of the moves that they made. So when we
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
it,
I think Garcia will hit the ground running, bro. Honestly, I feel like he will be really good. I think one thing.
So you're saying when you say hit the ground running, you see he gonna score against his former manager. That's what you're saying. Because
listen, the
he
Real
played
Madrid
Chelsea on
derby
the
is
first day.
exempt. The Real Madrid derby is exempt from the equation. But he might, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. If I'm being honest with you, because I think
he's the man.
I think
The man
that's-
will give him his real stats.
Well,
for
what is Brandon? Why don't you go ahead, man? You talk about the 5 teams that you have there.
Oh, well, I think the Sunderland one is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, like I just feel like they performed really well last season. I just feel like the Europe will be a little bit difficult for them to navigate. However, I think Bergwall is an excellent signing. I think putting him next to Xhaka is going to be huge. Enzo Lefebvre is going to play more centrally now, as he has been doing for the majority of the preseason. So I think that's really good for them. They've kept Robbie, which I think is good, and they still have a pretty good team. The defense is solid. They managed to hold on to Roofs, which I still can't believe.
Huge.
So I think that's really big. Bournemouth, I am very excited to see Marco Rosa in the Premier League. I am very high. I've always been high on Marco Rosa, so I think that's going to be good for them. I think Coventry will surprise people a lot.
Nice.
I just think that they have a good mix to take them forward, and I think this one is going to be funny. Everton, I think Beto is going to be better than he was last season. And I think that's only is going to be better for them. But this is given that they keep NDI. If they don't keep him, I would have changed this. But as of right now, if he does, and I'm assuming he will stay, I think that they would be able to go well.
Only because you say this, I would like to get it off my chest. I hear that we had to do these videos before the window closed, right? But we have to, right? Because like at the end of the day, even if we do it after the window, there's material change because teams have played games, So like. But I hate it, bro, because it does influence. It does influence. Like if we had to do this Saturday, Rodri was still a City player Saturday. He's not one today. That is our
Yeah, true.
material. That's a huge change.
Now that take them from second to second in my predictions.
Okay, cool. You want to go next now? Your 5 teams. Anything you want to say on them?
Yeah, you're covered mainly, bro. So we go in with 9 to 12. So I think Newcastle again. I just being a little. I give them the benefit of the doubt here. I think
A big benefit in my eyes. I can't lie.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if y'all not familiar with Matthias Jassel, whatever his name is. I think it's
I kind of slack
can't
off
say
watching the Saudi League last year,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I can't say
Nah,
I'm familiar.
I just think they'll pull through at some point. Like that's the thing. It's a big question mark. This is a bit of a random prediction, definitely. I do think we'll probably see some more movement in the market for them too, because they kind of have like no football players. But yeah, like I think when we looked at we talk about Forrest, I think the Glasner effect is really why I have them having around here. I think he's that kind of manager, and their squad is pretty good. And the one thing we didn't talk about Forrest, they managed to keep hold of Gibbs White, right? That looks like the case. And he was on a tear at the end of last season. He was in fantastic form. Don't know how he did pull the England squad, to be honest. I think they might really push for that kind of like European spot as well as possibility. Marco Rosa, as you mentioned, like fantastic coach with a really good rep in the Bundesliga. Coming into a team, Bournemouth is known to kind of use that approach and really support their managers, right? Brighton and Brentford, I think they have enough credit in the bank where they've stuck around so long that I feel like at least they could stick around longer. And yeah, I'm a fan of some of these moves that we talked about. I think like we talked about Vuskovic, right? Like I genuinely think that Vuskovic coming in and Van Heck the other way could be like that could be like a real good signing for both teams actually, in terms of the environment and whatever. So yeah, overall, I think we have a nice little battle playing out there. But we all kind of agreed on some of these picks, so bet against it. That's what I'm gonna say. Because you know our track record here.
Virgil? To be fair, I actually think last year we didn't do so bad, is it? I'm pretty sure. I think the tiers does do a lot of good work for us now. Because who cares if you said somebody got finished 9th but they finished 12th? Like, are they 2 points apart? Like, what difference does it make?
That's like 500k worth of prize money. You talking there,
real? No, real. But I'm not going in our pockets, like, no matter to us. Virgil.
Now, in that fight that had Sunderland, Bournemouth, Leeds, Newcastle, Fulham, I feel like this is the closest there. I feel like a lot of these teams not going to be a big difference in points. I feel like a lot of them did some good recruiting. Some of them also retain the players, and they kind of still have that same identity. I honestly feel like the biggest one that would be Newcastle falling into this bracket. I feel like they are the ones that will kind of struggle. They were the ones that kind of struggle the most to kind of maintain that tier. I feel like if anything else, they might fall out and go to a lower tier. But I feel like everybody else, did some decent recruitment and kept hold of the players. I really feel like, Sunderland also is going to struggle to balance in Europe and the league, but I don't think it's going to affect them that big. And, I feel like Leeds United is our next one they have to shout out. They will just improve with the signings that they make. And I feel like as the season progress, taking advantage of all these other teams around them that playing in Europe and whatnot, I feel like they would be able to cement themselves as a mid-table team. I feel like right now, a lot of these teams right now are taking advantage of the kind of shift and how a lot of teams are in transition, a lot of teams are in rebuild, and some of these teams are going to try their best to cement themselves as mid-table teams and stick around as long as they could in the Premier League.
Fair enough. Anybody have anything they want to say before we get into the European spots? If no, we'll just get straight into it. I feel like I'm a terrible thing here to defend, but we move. All right, guys. So we start with Virgil. You'll say 6 to 8 place on Yuan and Brandon and me.
Yeah. So we go in with Brighton, Liverpool, Aston Villa.
Oh my God!
We hit in territory. We hit in territory.
We hit in territory. I needed to say that again for me.
Yeah. I don't problem. Brighton.
You aren't Gucci when you hear that, yes?
I have 58 here. I wonder, where did I put an extra team?
In that day, I feel like that three, Brighton, Liverpool, and Villa.
Okay. Cool. But Joanna, are you here with us?
I can hear you. I don't know if you guys see. I feel like Princess Leia and Star and the first the Star Wars dog.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Uh,
No.
we have 6-8, Brad. Joanna.
6-8. Oh, it's 6-8. Oh, okay. So Spurs, Villa, and Leeds.
Spurs Villa leads, right?
Spurs Villa
Nice.
Leeds. Okay.
And Brandon.
I have Spurs, Leeds, and Manchester United.
Hey, well, dog, I real glad all you put leads here though, because okay, cool, nice. However, I was the one man who didn't say Brentford, so unless I was putting them in Champions League day. I have Brentford, Villa, and Spurs. All right, let me just get off the bat. Defend Brentford one time, right?
Yeah.
One, didn't lose anybody. Two, I said the wrong thing when it is. I said I like the Sangari sign in because I so had it on my head because I was knowing I was going to have to defend this Brentford stupidness what it is I brought it up, right? But it was actually them that signed Sangari, not
Yeah, I was
Christopher.
wondering when you said that to me. I thought I missed
But
it.
but they
Yeah.
were but they were both in fame. I remember that because it was both like one had agree a fee, one didn't agree the fee, that kind of thing, right? They also brought in Jadon Anthony from Burnley, who I thought did really well last year. And I think like I fully agree they had a huge reliance on set pieces, and I'm not denying that. But I think like what has also happened was like some of the good play that didn't finish in goals is not being talked about because again they didn't finish it off right. Like dog, I like Shade, I think dog, but dog, these and Utara and these man, there's nice players to watch when they're not on your team, right? But I give you a support them, they're very frustrated players to watch because they didn't actually and then obviously the biggest culprit of all, right? Igor Thiago. But they also signed Malik Diouf from West Ham, or at least they're in the process of it because I'm not seeing it here. But like I could have swear that I saw a deal to Brentford was confirmed, but at least it looks like it was on the cusp of it. And I just think like these players really suit the style that they want to play under Keita Andrews, and I think some of these players just taking a bit of a step forward in the execution in front of goal can make a huge difference for them. And again, I think somebody like Diouf play left wing back in this system could be something that could really wreak some serious chaos here. So I have them there. And then with Spurs and Villa, they fall into the clubs that I have the most vim for. Them is not them actually. And I wanted to put the club I had the most vim for here. However, I think Villa and Spurs are watching the windows that they have. Villa actually lost some very, very big personnel in terms of Rogers is a huge loss for them. And even though like Mendes support his bro, this man had 52 goals and assists in the last 2 seasons for them. That is a huge, huge, huge component. Watkins is getting older and he had a decline season last year, even though in the end he did score some, but he's not in his best form anymore. The 17-year-old striker that they signed to back up is missing the first month at least of the season. João Gomez, he also set to miss the first few months, and he was brought in to make up for Onana missing the first few months as well. And so,
No
like,
shucks.
I really want to put them higher, but I do think that at the top part of the table here, not being able to start as strong that is probably would want to do. I'm saying this, mind you, last year they had no wins in the first 5 games, no goals in the first 5 games, and then went on a tear. But I think players who were key to that tear that they went on, one of the big ones is Morgan Rogers, and he's not there anymore. And that's big shoes to fill.
But
And at the
they
time of
replaced him with
recording,
Garnacho, bro.
Yeah.
however, though, I not the biggest fan of Garnacho, but dog, when I am is entirely the type of manager who can get this man to score 10 goals easily, dog, and 10 assists, dog. So we'll see, we'll see. Which is why obviously I still have them up high, but them is the one that obviously 68 we said is not actually places, but them is the one that I had just missing out on finishing fifth in my own. But obviously with the window is left to be seen. And with Spurs, it is what's what I'm looking for, boy, is you're doing this at your own cost, right? Because last year we all had them at the 8 range around there. Clearly didn't work out that way. But they've spent ginormously big this window, right? However, even with that, Kudus is still out of Messi start of the season. And they yet to bring an attacker in. And even last year under Frank, I said this going into that. I thought that goal scoring was a concern even then. And it still is a big one now. And so while I think Fernandez and Tonali and Van Hecke and Senesi, these are obviously fantastic. Even I think Andrew Robertson bringing somebody who level-headed in the team is a good sign to have. I think it's just it's still missing the goals it's still missing the goals. So yeah, that's why I had them there. Brandon, go next now. What does you have there?
I have Spurs, I have Leeds, and I have Man U.
Well, both of them had Leeds, so fair enough.
Yeah, I just think that Leeds have made some really good signings, bro. And it's
Yep.
something that you mentioned before. I think like Harry Wilson going to Leeds, I think is a very good,
Huge
Crazy
dog.
is a
signing.
huge foil to the players that they already have,
Yep, yeah.
like Ampadu, Stack, Calvert-Lewin. I think like he is a very good addition to them as well. I know they got this guy Elvedi as well. I think he will be pretty good for them too. I think Trafford is huge.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's a real
Because
big
keeper
one.
was a big issue for them, because halfway through the season
Yeah.
they had to switch keepers.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the defense was bad, because I think
No.
that the defense really played, especially the second half of the season when they kind of clicked. That after that Man City game, whenever that was, I think they really clicked after that, and I think that their trajectory has been upwards since, and I just think they'll continue on that. Spurs is kind of like what you said already. I just don't think they'll have enough firepower
Yeah, boy.
unless they make a really big signing.
Yeah. Well,
Which
to
I'm
be
not seeing
fair,
at this point in time.
we seeing this one allegedly at $85 million. The damn window, hey. I'm not gonna go all uncanny winner right now, but apparently there's an $85 million bid currently in the process of being finalized for Savinho.
Hey, tell them
Oh,
tell them
I
hurry
mean-
up and sign that off, boy. Please.
Oh, bro, no,
Bro, oh
no,
my
that's
God,
gonna
like,
take them
no.
from sixth to first. From sixth to first. No, but I have a player that I'll talk about later on when we get into the other part of the
Yeah,
report,
that's
which
fine.
is why I think Spurs are gonna do really well. But I don't think they're gonna require the forwards to win games, but I do think that will like prevent them from getting to that next stage.
Yeah.
United, I realize that I'm the only person who has United so low. John, I'm very shocked. I'm very disappointed.
I know,
can't lie.
I know, it. And funny enough, yesterday when I was with Jordan, I was telling him, bro, I'm trying my utterly hardest to put United down here, and I just can't justify. But go ahead, yeah.
This one comes more from, I think their defense is going to be their undoing
It's a
this
huge
season.
problem. Yeah, it is.
I 100% put my hands up and say that their attack, I think, will be very good this season. However, I just don't feel like they will be able to keep enough clean sheets. I don't think they'll be able to prevent enough goals, and I think that that's what will prevent them from getting into the top 5. If anything, I probably think of the 6th to the 8th here, I think they might finish 6th, to be honest.
Yeah. You on?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it already. I think with Leeds as well, just want to double click on those things you said, Brandon. Like the signings they made are fantastic, and I think they even signed this Bosnian centre back. I think it was pretty solid. The World Cup too, Moramovic. And yeah, I mean, Calvert-Lewin's been in a good run of form too. I think Anton Stash is another player who I expect to have a big season. He was really, really good last season, and I expect him to continue that momentum. So I could see them, competing in that space. Spurs, as you mentioned, yeah, the goals definitely lacking. But with that kind of investment, I just can't see them like being so like. I think the midfield. While I'm not really like a big Tonali fan, I do think that you bring something there that's different. Obviously, Andy Robertson, he's already looked really, really good in these preseason games. He's also he's actually bringing a lot of Richarlison, which is kind of funny because them fellas hated each other back in the day. But yeah, I think it's an exciting time if you're a Spurs fan. And then Villa as well. Unai Emery is kind of like all reliable in a sense. He gonna bring you across the line to a certain extent, right? Signing wise, I know they've been a bit unlucky just with injuries, and yeah, I don't know why teams just buy Alejandro Garnacho. I'll be real, but let's see what happens with them. I just can't see them drifting too far down with the current chaos that there is in the league.
You on? I don't mean to burst your bubble, bro, but that 50 million for Garnacho gonna look like a bang for your buck when Pedro that's will go for 100 million.
So well, I don't know why you're laughing. Is all you're signing him?
Nah, I say, hey.
That whole man back coming back to Montana, John. That whole man back.
Any team that signed him for 100 million, need to go down.
But yeah, you are sorry
on the
about
right and Solis on the left with Gyökeres up front. TNG, GNT,
GNT.
GTFO, that is what it is. anything else about you on from what you were saying there?
Nah, I good, I good. I know somebody want to talk about my
I
side, so I'll pass it on to Virgil.
Virgil, yeah, boy, yeah, boy.
Hey, this rough boy. I can't lie. Out of the top five is crazy.
Yeah, boy. I tell you. So Brighton, Liverpool, Aston Villa. I
Yeah,
feel
the
like
teams he follow for
Yeah,
round two,
yeah.
boy.
The Liverpool chum off so much. I leaving off Brighton completely. The Liverpool chum off so bad.
nah,
Oh,
I feel like Brighton is a team that I feel like they are they are a team
he
that
is saying that Brighton going to go back to back and finishing this high of getting European places 2 seasons in a row.
yeah
Fade
yeah
off, Virgil. Fade off, dog.
yeah. I've honestly I feel like out of all these teams, I feel like yeah, so Brighton. I don't feel like it's gonna be a big change for them, obviously. But I feel for Liverpool and Villa, honestly, I Liverpool lack of depth is my biggest concern. Honestly, I feel like that lack of depth that they have, it really like I really honestly cannot see throughout the entire season where like what they're gonna hold on to. Honestly, I feel like this season is only going to just highlight more issues for them that they may need to address in January or hopefully or maybe might be the following season. And I mean, yeah, the signs that they made aren't bad, but I don't necessarily, as I said, I don't feel they will make any improvements. I feel like it's just like one injury away in that defense, one injury away in that midfield from just having them stumble like I have an entire period, an entire month period where they lose points. But on the other side, for Aston Villa, I feel like although Villa has lost a lot of key players, I feel like the signs that they did make, we had a shout out Ganacho for him being, a good squad player, and Manzambe that they brought it as well. I
Yeah,
feel like
boy. Such
he
a
is
good
a
signing, but
I think so. Yeah.
attacking threat. So I feel like there's not going to be that focal point
all right,
for
but with all due respect, right, Virgil, also when
yeah.
you even talk about that they lost Digne, right? I want to stop talking about this. I wanted to zone in on this Liverpool thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to explain why they not finish in the Champions League spots.
Cause going back to that point, I literally feel that from the players that they lose, because bringing in Arajo was just basically
No,
to
that's fair.
replace Konate. I don't necessarily
Konate.
feel it in that
That's
big a
not.
special way.
That is not what he's there for.
No, but no, nobody tell about it. I feel like bringing them there because you have yes, obviously you have that experience, you have that leadership. But before the season, there were areas that they highlighted that they need to strengthen, and I don't feel Liverpool
Yeah.
has strength at all yet. So we can't. So we're saying that the sign of they have this experienced player in Araujo that a lot of Barca fans wanted out of the club. You brought in this young Frenchman that has potential,
That's
but
he's
Yeah.
gonna start it. Man.
I,
no,
I
no,
like
but
him though. I can't
no,
lie, I really like him.
he has that potential. But looking at that entire team, I don't necessarily see what is going to improve
So
them.
you're saying Victor Munoz World Cup winner
World
does
Cup
not
winner.
impress you?
No. No. I feel like no. I feel like Areola is going to have to think a lot in this first half of the season to try and find that starter because we are going to see a lot of changes in this season. We're going to see I don't think he's going to have a stable 11 as yet. I feel like it's going to be a lot of tinkering around. That's also going to cost him some time, cost him some points. And when we're speaking out right now with the current squad they have, if they do make some serious signings, then yeah, I could see them going further up. But with the squad they have right now, over an entire season, especially in crunch time when we come during the winter time, I really do not see how this Liverpool side is going to keep up with anybody, keep up with all the teams around them.
Fair enough.
Bro, you hit
I
you
mean,
hitting me for six right now, no, bro. I want to see what you have high up right now.
Yeah.
You hitting me for six
I try
right
to think
now.
of like I think to myself, I didn't hear Virgil say this club. I didn't hear Virgil say this club. So I've been there in the top five, but
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so everybody kind of okay. So guys, from here on out, we're gonna go by position and talk about who finishes where, right? Oh, bro, I so forget these element predictions now. All right, let me just send these things one time. So from Aidan had 6 to 8, he had United, Aston Villa, Brighton. he had Everton, Brentford, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Leeds for 9 to 13. And then he had Forest, Newcastle, Palace, and Coventry finishing 40 to 17. Then we have the Keel, who, as you all would know, his blood would never allow him to put United anywhere down in any of these places. So he has Fulham, Villa, Spurs in 6 to 8. Then he has Forest, Everton, Brighton, Brentford, and Sunderland 9 to 13. Then 40 to 17 is Newcastle, Leeds, Coventry, and Palace. And well, as I said already, he had Ipswich, Hull, and Bournemouth to get relegated. And so I'll start off with them. The Keel has Manchester City finishing 5th. Aidan has Tottenham Hotspur finishing 5th. Yuan has
Liverpool.
Liverpool finishing 5th. Brandon.
What is going on? I have Aston Villa finishing 5th.
Virgil.
I have Manchester United finishing 5th.
Right. I also have United finishing 5th, right? However, I want to say with my United 5th, if Villa had just one more piece that I felt I could be comfortable with, Villa was going to be 5th for me. But I have United here, and I just would like to point out, right? Carrick took over 16 Premier League games last year because it was only Premier League because they played 40 games last season, right? They've conceded 2 goals in 7 of 16 Premier League games. All I want to know how much defensive signings they make this summer.
0. They're still playing the same back line that conceded
Yep.
for to Brentford.
Their big attacking signing was to give Rashford the number 9.
14
Was it
by
14?
No, that was falsely reported apparently by Fabrizio. Oh, hey, yeah, obviously we didn't podcast already summer, but no, Fabrizio, it's a back of that whole summer. This man rams in every reporter on the face of the earth now. But apparently he, in the allegations of that he liked to jump the gun too fast, apparently he jumped the gun on the 14, and apparently in the 4-2 loss to AC, Rashford was wearing number 9. So,
Okay. Yeah, first
I don't know.
watch that game.
Yeah,
Nobody even know.
you know. I don't really like when I watched that game hoping they was going to get some licks back that they did not get back. But yeah, they've conceded so much, bro. And even in the games that they didn't concede to, like they've conceded a lot of transition opportunities, boy. And I think as individual signings, Tillemans is a fantastic recruit. I think even Andre Santos, I think, could be a very smart recruit as well. But like as an overall picture of the business, I have not liked it. But like, what is Manchester United post Ferguson, guys? Having forwards who just go in and score enough goals and cover all the sins of what's going on behind them. And I think that Villa sometimes can't do that as well, but they don't have those guys right now, you know. And whereas Villa has a better structured team from back or front, right? But I don't think that they have the forwards right now. Again, I wish I could do this at the end of the window. That if they sign this guy, I could start to think, okay, I could see something here. But I just don't know. And as of right now, all the Rabs aside, I think our front line that involves Rashford, Cunha, and Buemo, and these guys, they will find the goals now. I think they're just enough to get them into 5th, even though the thing is, boy, this could swing all the way around because I think defensively, boy, this is so scary. They going into the 12th year of Luke Shaw started for them, dog.
Yep.
12 years ago, I didn't even write CXC yet. Like, you know what madness this is? You know, Diego, like, I remember I sent the squad something and I was like, Diego Dallo is still on the starting right back.
Wait,
In the
12 years ago
nausea-
you had right TX, you know?
Did I? It was the year I
Right,
did
you're
write
probably right,
CXC.
Kip.
Yeah.
No, I wrote CXC 12 years ago. No, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Man misreporting.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Southampton.
Fabrizio
Call me
is that
Fabrizio.
Fabrizio, is that you?
Call me Fabrizio. But yeah, I bro, and you know the thing too, even in midfielder, like I don't want to talk about my friend yet, but I would just like to point out that when it is players usually have the kind of season of like what Salah had in 24-25, it's very natural that there's some drop off in numbers. I would like for United fans to just be aware of the fact that when someone like Bruno, who is not generally that good, has a season that was that good, you should probably expect a bit of drop off. And he covered a lot of sins that front line was having in the end of last year. And men not creating, men not scoring.
John, wait, no. Let's be generous to the man from a please. at the start of the season, he's going to try to break the record again, which that's the only way he will actually be able to look good.
Well, yeah. So that's why I have United fifth. Brandon, go next, please, to save us.
I think a lot of people are kind of low on Villa. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
this happens every year, and Emery is.
Don't say that. I had them fifth last year, and all you laugh at me.
Well, I mean, funny enough, like they didn't look like they was getting anywhere close to fifth
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
the
at one
start of
point
the
last
season,
year.
but
Yeah.
somehow Emery does it every single
Again,
season.
yeah,
He
yeah.
is inevitable. He just keeps doing it. He finds the way. He makes it work.
Honestly,
And I expect-
nobody want to sign Emi Martinez for a third summer running.
I did someone in a row,
Who
yeah.
want me?
No, I think Zion Suzuki is an interesting
Bro,
signing.
listen,
Bro.
anyway, Brian, before you continue, dog, they need to do the transfer announcement. They need to do the starting of the week from Tokyo Drift, and then get him in the theater. Aston Villa
That'll be
if all the theaters hire me.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I still think that Villa haven't lost a lot defensively. I think Digne moving on is a good thing for them. That means
Yeah,
Matson
agreed.
is going to play a little bit more, even though Matson isn't the greatest left back in the world. But I think that's going to be an upgrade on from Digne. If I'm being
I
honest.
think Matson have a lot to give it. Like
Yeah.
I was really surprised actually when you all sold them that you all sold them, to be honest. Like at that
Well,
point
I
in
mean,
time.
you kind of saw why after a while.
Yeah, true. But I do think he's at untapped potential, honestly.
I think with Digne though, they're losing some seniority and from the team now. That's the only
Bro,
thing.
who is looking
He's-
at the Digne as a
Nah, you can't do that,
dog.
dog. The man there like 6 years now. He's there
Yeah.
a while now.
Yeah.
So
But ever since
that's
that
it.
goal that Ryan scored against him, and when he was just like
Yeah.
non-existently defending, I feel like that was the start of the end for him. And one other thing, bro. I mean, like you said what you said there, John. But I will die on the Watkins hill, and I still believe there's
I love Watkins, bro.
a resurgence there somewhere.
At
Even
December,
last
Winter-
season, he had a good
in
season.
December,
Win-
in December,
Winter Watkins is a real thing. And
How much
all
goals
you
he
have
had
to
last
do-
season?
I
by the
think
end he
got-
had like 14, but I think
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
had
it was in
14, yeah.
Europe.
Decent amount.
and he was pretty non-existent for a good bit of the season.
Yeah,
he
so,
exactly.
was.
yeah. So if he's involved in any way close to that, and they still
He
have
had
good
16.
players.
He
You
had
know.
16 goals last season.
Well, look at that,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, and I don't think he was that involved last season
Oh,
compared
16
to.
in the
others,
league.
yeah.
Oh, that's such
Yeah,
a good
crazy,
result,
yeah?
though. Wow.
And
yeah.
you would swear that he wasn't that
Yeah.
that proper.
And
So,
then
yeah,
also this up. I think something that Emery does really, really well. And the way I'm talking now, that's why I had Villa fifth and United down in the sixth there. But like Emery does so well of getting the best out of forwards. Like he just does. And so like I would not be surprised if we sit here at the end of the season and Garnacho has like 9 goals, 9 assists in there, and we watch him and be like, wait a
all right,
Yeah, that-
all right.
yeah, that sounds
You would be
shipping right
surprised.
back.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
You see, this is what
Yeah.
Arteta thinking too. Arteta go sign him next season.
All right. Let's stop doing that.
All right.
For the sake of my mental health. All right,
Not
who
showing
next?
Martinelli, way.
Yuan, shut up. Yuan, what do you have next? We have in fifth.
The mighty Reds, though. What do you mean?
Okay, yeah,
What
yeah.
happened,
You want,
Virgil didn't say anything wrong. What did Virgil say wrong? The only thing he say wrong is that Araujo brought this start because that's not. I think Araujo is there because hey, we needed somebody with a lot of experience who don't mind holding bench. So yeah, I mean, this is the most transitional season Liverpool have had in years since pre-Klopp era. We talking about and leaving the business last minute is never a good thing. And look like we may get 2-for-1 on Bakola and Mbaye from.
well, I see we had
Bro,
reports today,
okay.
and Mbaye looks to be progressing of the two.
Yeah, Brian, he agree personal things, but though I heard for a week, if they get any closer, I don't know how close they will get to sign him.
May I introduce you to some accelerating, monitoring, nearing, talking?
Yeah.
Contacts,
Oh,
the file
Lord,
is
Lord.
near completion. I don't know what them
Dog,
downloading.
if you know how
Yeah,
I
boy.
hate this file thing, boy, like,
No,
oh my God.
that'll kill me. Let's say keep an eye on the file. Dog, what are you talking about?
The contract- The contract is
Man-
currently a Word document. It will be
Men online, why?
currently a Word
Men
document.
torrents and
It'll become a PDF very soon.
99% and they're refusing to see it, but yeah, so It's just a lot of moves like that. I'm not sure. Again, midfield. Jones is going out. It looks like Neoni is expected to come up, and it's a whole new front line. Victor Munoz does look good, but he like again, we don't. It's an unknown quantity. A lot of question marks, and I feel like even when I talk to my other Liverpool supporting friends, I'm not alone in thinking we probably like too short, as you mentioned before. Like a couple injuries could really derail us. God forbid. Isak, and Isak is there right now as a only like senior striker along with like Federico Chiesa in 2026.
I
And
won't line up,
Nketiah is
Brandon.
out.
You want? I kind of surprised how willing you all are to push out Gakpo, like
Like, it looked like
say
he's
too,
getting sold. He's been good
Yeah,
in
yeah,
preseason,
that's a
but
price.
it looked like he's getting sold. That's the real situation. I just think as well as it's not only necessarily like what we want to do, but also what he wants to do too, right?
That's
And the
fair.
thing is,
That's fair.
we're at a point where we could sort of extrapolate on the value because he did sign a big contract recently. So
Well,
I mean, if Spurs come and say and take the Savinho money and for Gakpo, you think we wouldn't take it?
100%. Yeah, that's
So
fair.
right, like 89 million, yeah.
Virgil, what do you
Yeah.
have there again, bro?
I had Manchester United, and I mean, I feel like just like for what you mentioned earlier with United, I feel like I feel like that's a big reason why I have them there. I feel like the only thing is that I have them one place above Villa. I honestly feel that how I feel like United being fifth is more so coming down to the teams below them rather than they
That
within
is
that
kind
fifth
of where
spot.
my brain was too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really feel like it'll be like that because, as you mentioned, that side we can't see going to hear how much these few signings that they make going to improve them drastically, and then we go and just see just the same stagnant play from them. So
Brother,
I
them
feel like
sign a
that.
midfielder who have 40 Ps and decide to sign nobody around him, no
Yep,
athletic defenders, no athletic fullbacks, and it's like they surprised when they see till was in a preseason game, bro. Like,
yep.
come on.
So yeah, I feel like this United fans will still find the silver lining in this. Obviously, if fifth spot is still Champions League, well, more likely it would be. So yeah, I feel like
Was
yeah.
was was one word that comes to mind when all you hear that dog who is the starting left winger.
Rashford.
Mhm.
You would hope it's Rashford, eh? I mean, I wouldn't lie, but this whole Rashford situation real interesting, boy. I mean, like, it has
Do
to
you
be
all
that
not
he.
think that Rashford is going to play though? Like he might start
No,
and
I
then do
think
you
he
not? Do you
will.
not think
I
that?
think he
That he
will.
will, yeah.
Because
Okay.
he's dog. With all due respect, I think he's a better forward than anyone else at that club. Now obviously there's semantics involved as to why they might not want to use him or whatever. But like, I I know how I felt about Mbeumo before he moved. But like, I don't think Mbeumo and Cunha have been like elitely great since they've been there. Like I said, I think if Bruno didn't go supernova in the second half of last season, we'd have had some serious conversation about them,
Man, even
But
start talking about the goat Ahmad Diallo yet.
hey, man scoring preseason, bro. He man scored more goals in preseason than he scored the whole of last season for them. So,
Exactly. So
all
he's
right, let me
back.
move. Let me move up to fourth place. Brandon go first, and then you, and then Virgil, and then I'll go.
Okay. Well, I originally had this, but I was thinking about switching it, but I'll keep it the way it is. I have Chelsea in fourth place. Yeah. You want anything besides that? Oh.
No, and we'll come back around. You and who you had in fourth?
Manchester United.
Hmm, good grief. All right, you Virgil.
I had Spurs.
Right? The Keel had Liverpool in fourth, and Eden had Liverpool in fourth, and I had Liverpool in fourth as well.
Why build us up that suspense?
Because I kind of. It's so hard to not let recent events change my mind, but I did have Liverpool fourth when I initially did it, and I sticking to what I was thinking before. Okay, so I did Liverpool. These men did Liverpool, but Virgil, you do Spurs, Brandon, you did Chelsea, and this one do United. All right, we come to United last. Let me go Chelsea because we didn't hear about Chelsea yet.
Well, I put Chelsea here because I'm not sure what. Like for one, I can't tell you like what is going to be like the starting 11 as of right now. I can't tell you the starting formation as of right now. So I go in solely on the players I think will play at any given time. Again, I'm not sure if Enzo is going to be here, but I'm assuming that he will be. And I
Do you
feel
really
like
feel that? You really feel that even after like this Roger deal went through and stuff that he'll still be there?
like I said, I can't tell you for sure. But my hope, I guess, my hope is that he would stay,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you for sure, and I wouldn't put my head on a block for it. The the only thing I can tell you for sure, and the one thing that I am certain about is that I believe that João Pedro is out for blood this season. I think there's been a lot of things said about him last season. I think he's taken that personally. I think he's taken
Especially
Ancelotti's
not.
slight on him for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think he's taken that very personally. So I think that is going to be that's going to be something that we're going to rely on heavily for the entire season. I have not been very impressed with Palmer's preseason, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what kind of state he's going to be in going into the season. I can only hope that it gets better. Morgan Rogers he looked good in the game that we played against Sociedad, and I still feel like there are players who haven't had enough time to settle
Yeah.
in, and I feel like the settling period will be during the season, which will probably
Yeah.
not be the
I
best
think
thing.
so. Yeah.
And I feel like that will just cost us a little bit when it comes down to the end of it. But I still think we will have a positive season.
Cool. United. No, it's all right. We'll go you last. Mr. Man who has Spurs the highest.
Spurs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, come on, that is just fourth. But honest, nah. But I honestly feel,
Let me ask this
this
out,
will
right?
be.
Now, who's scoring the goals?
Come on, the one
This one
man.
it's a video. Oh my word.
Hey, you don't know about Mr. Richarlison, huh?
All right. Go
Nah,
ahead.
but
Go ahead.
I feel, because again, I don't feel this. I don't feel fourth is going to be. Fourth is not going to be close to first at all. It's going to be a big gap. But I feel like all of the defensive recruitment has not been, you know, that groundbreaking for Spurs. I feel like it will get the job done. I feel like they have those injuries where they have to wait because that more coming on to the second half of the season with some of those injuries that they have. But I feel like the defense will do enough to just retain some of the points. I feel like Spurs has always been that stubborn team, and I feel like with just focusing on the league only, this is a manager. I feel like this will be he knows that his reputation is on the line. Obviously, he would just focus mainly on trying to improve Spurs, which is not going to be that big of a task, especially where they finished last season. But I feel like once he able to pull this off, bring them back to Champions League, it will do a lot for his career and with the board. And I feel like that's where his focus will be on. The focus will be on trying to do anything necessary, no matter how ugly it is, to get Spurs in Champions League, so he could then focus on his real project and focus on everything for the following season. So I feel like he will do enough to secure a Champions League spot. And I feel like it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be anything to write home about. But I feel like he can manage to do it.
Fair enough. Well, I went Liverpool, and for me, honestly, I had these places switching constantly as by my hesitation there, because I do think that we might see a little bit of what had happened when Irala went Bournemouth, where the first few games might be the best results. But I do think that the attackers are the ones that really do benefit from his system. And I expect players like Isak to have a huge uptick in their season this year coming. I'll be honest, and I really don't mean this somehow, but I'm not convinced by how somebody like, from watching Iraola these last few years, right? I'm not convinced of how somebody like Flo Wirtz is gonna fit into the system yet. I am very much open to the possibility of how it actually does happen. But watching how like Krupi played as second striker for this last year and stuff like that, I don't see that same profile there. And I'm intrigued to see like how he uses Soboslai in the season though. I think Trianioni had a superb preseason, and I'm well aware that he is still a child. So like I'm not expecting no huge things from him yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do there. I thought Jeremy Jacquet is a very good prospect and had a good debut, albeit against Como. We even beat Como, so fair enough, right? And they are looking to bring in some more attackers. Must be nice. Don't know what that is like. But I think that the first year might not be the best for them in terms of the back line. But I do think that eventually they'll get the goals flowing in this side. And I think once they do, they'll be a very hard team to stop. And so, yeah, I have them for. I do think the goals against them might, and that bedding period might be what cost them finishing that bit higher up. But yeah, I expect, especially Isak, bro, I expect a big year from him. Because we forget that, like, at different points on the Iraola, the strikers have done really well. In fact, Evan Nielsen, his first year before he get injured, was on like 10 goals before he had even get injured, you know. So yeah, I expected big things from them. And yeah, you have United the highest, bro. So
And you see, football is a sport that's slowly dying, and United success means football is dying, so they're gonna finish fourth. That's literally it. I just think,
okay, cool.
despite
No
me
problem.
personally, they'll finish fourth.
Okay, cool. No problem.
Yeah.
Then next up we have third place. So let's see. Brandon, who you have in third, bro?
I have Liverpool, bro.
I figured. Yeah.
I have
yeah.
Liverpool in third.
Nice. No, you're going to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Virgil, who you have in third?
Third place, I have Manchester City.
I know this bugger was going to do that. I know
Oh,
he was
no.
going to do that.
I know what
he
Virgil
couldn't
did.
help himself.
I know what Virgil
I know he
did.
couldn't help himself.
I know what Virgil did.
Johan, who you have in third, bro?
Chelsea.
Yeah, I also have Chelsea in third. Wait, but I guess I went the boring route. Then we also have Eden had Chelsea in third as well, and then the Keel had Manchester United in third. So we could just
Good thing he
park
was
that
not
one
starting.
there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go Chelsea. Let me go and actually no. You talk about Liverpool, and you obviously have Liverpool the highest, Brandon. So you think it's going to be a good season for them? I think so too. So let's hear it. Why you think that?
I think that there is. I don't know how to describe this to you properly, so I'll try my best, right? I think there's a lot that Slot didn't maximize in the
Yeah,
current players that they have, and I think Irregular will be able to maximize a lot of it. Like when we get into surprise players and things, like you'll probably understand why I feel that way.
yeah,
I agree with your sentiment about Isaac. I am also surprised you didn't mention that Ekitike is supposed to come back like halfway through the season. I know he's
yeah.
coming back
That
from
was
a bad injury, but I still think that he will be able to contribute in a way. I would find it very hard to believe that Wirtz is as disappointing as he was last season. I think a season on, I think he's probably more up to speed. I think that would be way more beneficial to them. I'm also very surprised that Johan thinks that Araujo isn't going to start. I think he's going to start.
I think
a lot
he's
more
starting,
games than
bro.
anything.
Yeah.
I think he's
In
going
the
to start a
game
lot
this
more games.
season, potentially, just because of the I do think probably the first game he might get a starter. I don't think he'll throw Jack against it, but I don't think for the whole season he's not gonna be a starter. I think
Well, I think he was starting majority. I think he's going to start the majority of the season. That's just my opinion.
All right.
I also
Van
think
Dijk and Araujo, boy. Both
I
players with
also
the back
think
to the
that Johan,
striker.
that like he obviously has his faults, right? But like I think that Irala will like how aggressive that he is, because of how remember Irala loves this man-to-man stuff a lot, right? And he's been one of the best managers in it at this point. And if he could coach Araujo some brain, that aggressive nature could come in very handy.
Yeah, most fan pages saying that they expect Jackie to start the season, so we'll see. I think Araujo is a depth thing. Like he's not.
I think the other option to think about too, is that Jackie outside of playing centre back for Rennes, he also played right back, so it is a consideration that we could have see him start.
I think Araujo is actually backup right back.
Okay.
Right now,
we'll see.
So,
but yeah, Brandon, finish what you're saying now.
Yeah, I also think that I know Johan was joking about the Munoz thing, but I actually think he'll be kind of good for them.
I wasn't joking, bro.
I was not gonna say he definitely wasn't joking.
Yeah, and I expect Isaac to get back to somewhere close to his normal level.
Yeah.
There was a very turbulent season, like for the whole team last season, and trying to figure out who plays well with who and who works well with who and who can't play with this one and whatever.
And Slot decided to try every combination of who can't play with who and what not doesn't work. So,
yeah. But I'll get into the rest of it later on.
That's not even a concern. The only reason I didn't go bigger on some of these Liverpool players is because like I was not even sure what the iteration the iteration is gonna be because like let's say they do sign Bakula and Mbai, so then you're looking at like all these guys here. I generally don't know, and I'm excited to see what it
Mm-hmm.
looks like though because I do think they're gonna do really well. And the thing is, compared to there's the argument that Slot won the league, so like he should have been got given a bad season and a bad season where they still managed to finish Champions League and whatever, right? I think with Iraola, I think that they have their best chance of getting the style of football more akin to what Klopp was doing. And I think that they would be more embedded to that, even if it isn't a straightaway success right away, you know? And I think that they could get behind that. And I think Liverpool is a club that they need to feel that above just results. Obviously, results are important, like, I'm not disputing that. But results are important. But I think the club back and what is seen on the field is a huge thing with how Liverpool probably more than any other English club could go up by 10% when the crowd is behind what they're doing, you know? And that is something I can't quantify, you know, but I expect it. Anyway, didn't talk about their choice. Oh, with me and Virgil. So Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
Virgil go first and I get talk after.
Oh yeah.
No, just bugger put no, just bugger put
So
City. Go
yo,
ahead.
I'm
Honest,
still
because
I'm
Anderson
still
started the half
grieving.
space yesterday, right?
No,
That is
I'm still
high then.
grieving. They lost of one of our best managers. They lost of one of our best players. So I feel like it's gonna
I
be a
mean,
hard
bro,
road. It's gonna be a hard road.
John Stones barely played last year,
Nah,
bro.
I
It
just
really
referring to
not that
Bernardo. I
serious.
just referring to Bernardo Silva, by the way. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be a very hard season for this team. A lot of a lot of influential figures are not going to be there in that dressing room. I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like it's going to have a lot of effect on the team. It's going to have a lot of effect on the core because there are some players that we're going to stick by and try our best to let them play out of this bad form. And I don't feel it's going to end well. I feel like the defense is going to be highlighted as a big issue as well. And also, you know, I feel like letting go of Trafford was a very big mistake, a very
He's
big
not fun,
mistake in this.
Donnarumma.
I've been seeing this fella when he was 16. This man, his peak was a good while ago. But honestly, yeah, I feel like for City, I feel like there's going to be a reality check for them. It's going to then show them that they need to do a complete rebuild. I feel like a lot of things would really need to change for next season, well, the following season,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like this season is just going to highlight a lot of issues that they honestly they've also been ignoring and trying their best to see if it could just work itself
Yeah,
out.
bye. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even with the players available in this market for them to bring in, I feel like it's not going to be enough. I feel like the players that they have are not the players that are available right now in the transfer window are not going to solve any problems that we have, and it's going to either destabilize the team or it's going to force Maresca to have to make some drastic changes to create a whole new identity. And I feel like either option is going to basically throw us off, and that's going to impact us a lot this season.
The truth is, why I did want to put City here, and one of the things that kind of ringing in my ears was when we spoke about Rodri the year after he won the Ballon d'Or, and Brandon said this time, like that people thought Rodri would win the Ballon d'Or. But if you drop off of somebody losing like Rodri, so go from title winners, so at that point there was like 8 or 9 in the table when we had the discussion. Like how big of a miss that person is now. When you couple
Mm-hmm.
that with losing Pep, and I expanded this more when I talk about City, it is a big factor. But with Chelsea, look, I probably was just more afraid to put Chelsea second in it, right? That's probably where it was. But like, I think first of all, they have a manager, not a coach anymore. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that they finally have somebody there who had the stomach to change how the club was thinking. And whatever you think about Welbeck, Henderson, and what's the left back name, Brandon? I can't pronounce it.
Palestra.
Chavaria.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, was it
Palestra.
Brandon?
Chavaria?
No, not Palestra.
Chavaria.
You're right.
Chavarian.
Yeah, because all of these guys are over 25, right? This is somebody who managed to change the culture of what they was thinking in terms of recruitment since they came in, right? That's the kind of power that they was willing to give him, right? And we already know that Real Madrid is the basket case that it is, whatever it is, right? I think Xabi Alonso is a great coach. I think that is a reason that the last preseason game we finally saw the 3-4-2-1. I think that is a reason that he recruited the exact way that they did. And I felt last year that Chelsea was going in, and I wasn't that big behind them. But now it is that I'm watching. I think it is a great coach. I think that they have the right setup to maximize these exact players and the pieces that they were missing. They went and get them. You know. I also though somebody like Quenda coming in, right? He know what he. The part of the reason he didn't like Abraham was because he didn't want to play wing back, right? However, I'm watching that if Quenda or like Neto play wing back in the system, dog, it gets so attacking. You know, it gets so front footed. And
But it's not a winger, though.
he is a winger, and he hated Aaron because Aaron made him play wing back. You know, and part of the reason that he was happy after Aaron left was to play winger. Now he signed for Chelsea, who might there's a chance he uses them at wing back, right? Because like in the front line, outside of like the Palmer, the Pedro, and the Rogers, you talk about like Esteban and stuff like that, right? Bro, I really believe Chelsea can finish second and really have a strong season. And like it sounds like as a tongue in cheek comment about Odegaard play once a week and how United benefited from it. I think when you look at the fact that Xabi Alonso is going to try to create not just a culture but to erase some of what went on these weeks before, having that whole week to go and train with these guys to prepare for the games at the weekend, I think is such a big plus, bro. And everybody here knows how big I am about Morgan Rogers, you know, and I am not going to change my tune just because he went Chelsea. And I could also say that he's a better fit for what they're going to do at Chelsea than what he'll do at us. I think he's gonna have he's gonna have games that he's gonna absolutely frustrate. I know gonna happen. 72nd minute gonna come, he's gonna pull out a goal out of nowhere, dog. And yes, we know the meme, a goal gonna change your whole rating, whatever. But I don't care. Goals is currency in this thing. I think he's a big part. And I totally agree with Joe Pedro comment as well. Okay, he's been fantastic in preseason. And I love the mentality of, oh, Ancelotti, that way you think of me? No problem, bro. I'm gonna make myself undroppable next time you have a squad. And yeah, cool. All right. Again, you want to have a hard stop coming up, so let me speed this up. Does anybody here not have Arsenal for this? Right, cool. I had City second. Who you have Virgil first and second?
Hey, go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. Tell me who you have first and second.
I have Arsenal and Chelsea, but I'm not saying which order.
No, tell me because I got to change how I want and try and do the same because he have 15 minutes, so I'll hard this up.
Chelsea
Nice,
second,
cool.
Arsenal first.
Brandon.
I have City second, Arsenal first.
Right, and Yuan.
Same.
All right, so I'm gonna let everybody talk about the team itself, and then that's how we'll move on.
Just spend 5 minutes glazing Arsenal. I'm not
I
giving them
actually do it. I actually do want to talk about City more. So, like, the truth is, bro, we're looking at a very fair possibility that City gonna spend 300 million, 3 new midfielders. They have Haaland, they have Doku, they have Semenyo, they have
Grealish,
who to me was the young player of the year last year, and yet it feels negative, right? But at the same time, like, how could I not respect Pep if I don't feel like he's possibly the greatest manager that I've ever witnessed and they're not going to have some big drop off? One of the big things that we do say about Pep every year is that he problem solves mid-season. You know? Am I going to just assume Maresca could do that? And so, like, the truth is, I wanted to put City down in 14. But, like, again, I am watching Haaland, Doku, Doku, Semenyo, Elliot Anderson. Oh, please spare me. Elliot Anderson. They might sign Enzo. They might sign Buadi.
Please don't.
They have all these men. They have Turkey who are not even calling there. And I'm not supposed to expect that they're going to get goals. And I have such two conflicting thoughts at the same time, right? And I have them here. But then I also see that Enzo Maresca is the same manager who had a month where João Pedro went without getting a shot on target. And then that had me worried about, like, wait, is it that all what Chelsea fans saying about the style can be very sterile? The style of play can be very sterile at times. Are we going to see that Haaland going to be starved of service? Is that what we're going to see? And I don't know. You know, I really don't know. God, this is the same manager who snuck into the top 4 on the last day of the season. Same manager who had, like, I think it was like 1 win and 7 by the time that he got sacked at Chelsea. So, I don't know. It's two contrary thoughts colliding in the end. And in the end, I went with trusting Haaland, probably more than anybody else in this team, and the quality that they have that eventually get enough goals to see them over the line. So, yeah, talk about the teams. Brandon?
Both are one.
No, just talk about Chelsea. Sorry, City. And when we reach Virgil, I'll let him talk about Chelsea, and then we'll just finish on Arsenal before we do the cap.
This is very simple for me. I think this is a huge transition season for City, and I told you this before that I think if anybody is going to challenge Arsenal, it's going to require somebody or a team or one player playing at 110% of themselves. And and that's why I think that the only thing that is going to keep City in the side of the race is Haaland is going to play out of his mind. He's going to have his best ever season in England, which if you haven't, if you could fathom that right now, like that is going to be an incredible season. That's a hot take that I have. Like I think like he's just going to be
That's a good one.
incredible.
Mhm.
And like the kind of numbers that he's going to put up is just going to be absolutely stupid, and he's just going to be undone by probably the best team in the league, and that's just it for me.
Yeah. Oh, you on?
Yeah, I just think, see, I'm gonna maybe be a bit more negative about it. I just think that the overall quality of the Premier League, I've been saying this for a while, has just gone down.
Yeah.
Like, City is just gonna be the second best of a bad bunch, really. So that's why my thoughts lie.
But
Um,
I have a question to ask you that, right? And not because
uh,
I was not fan or whatever, right? But why then do you think that when it is that the English teams go in Europe, they do so well?
because that's a good question. That's a really good question. But I think for the lower league
Spurs finished
competition,
17th and they managed to
yeah, I
finish
was gonna say
fourth
for the
in the group
Europa
stage.
League and for the Conference League, I think it's just the resources in general.
Yeah.
And then I think in the Champions League recently with Arsenal going so deep is because Arsenal has it's the physical kind of ball that they get to play. And a combination of that, a bit of luck, a little bit of pixie dust, managing to pull them across the line. But it really is just, if you look at it, it's been Arsenal who have been definitely a good team. But when you look at the rest of the quality of the league, I think it really isn't as like what it was. That's my whole thing. I think with City coming like down, I just think again exactly what Brandon said. Really, with Haaland, he's a world class player who can drag you across the line. And
Apparently, depending
when
who
you
you
look
ask,
at,
he might not be world class. Well, we ain't getting into that today.
let me not get started on kind of things, right? And all City need is they have like them $5,000 billion supporting cast. They need a couple of them to just hit at the same time, and that's all it really has ever been for them, right? So again, it's
Yeah.
just a lot of resource allocation. It's a bit of Haaland pulling through. I think he'll drive him to as a second place. And exactly what you say, Brian. Like Arsenal is like, don't get me wrong. I know that's not like I described in Arsenal, and I was a little bit described in Arsenal, but I think they are a good team, deservedly, making it far despite what you think of their football. And I don't think that City is in a place, and like no other team is really in a place at this current point where they could really compete and make that incision into that run that Arsenal, especially with a new manager in the first season versus a set Arsenal side whose strength is defense. I think that's another thing too. Like they always say, like the attack wins games and the defense wins titles. Like that's what you really see it. The only big question mark for me, obviously, is the fitness of Arsenal players. I think obviously Saliba is a man missing for a few months. So like Mascara coming in for him, we had to see how he can cope. Rice is a man run to the ground. Saka is a man probably a break too. So that's where I think the big question marks could lie. But yeah, overall, I think that's essentially. I just think is the gap in quality in the transitional period is why I see City below us, and City's rotation and the amount of people they have is why I see them above the rest of the pack.
Virgil? You
Yeah.
had Chelsea second, so I don't know if you had anything to add to what I had said before.
Nah, yeah,
Both
I don't know
very high,
about. Yeah, that's about. I know say I don't have to stay long on Chelsea because it's basically just echoing what you mentioned. It's just to highlight. I just to highlight the manager because honestly, if you've been realistic, I looking at this like we seeing a manager in Enzo Maresca, and we also seeing what are that Michael Carrick and that bunch. I feel like we looking at a manager like Xavi Alonso who has done it. He has that experience. We saw what he did in the Bundesliga. I feel like him coming and actually adopting the 3-4-3 and the personnel he has signed. I feel like he could utilize that 3-4-3. I don't think it'll be something that'll be sustainable over the long term, but with the personnel that he does have, I feel like he could actually he could do a lot of damage with that formation and the personnel. I feel like if you're looking at all the managers too, he probably he has I
I'm
want to say
thinking
the most
about it
experience
though.
out of them.
He probably already could be a top 3 manager in the league. Like if we done
Exactly.
Arteta, Emery, like I don't see any reason he can't be top 3 in the league. Like who else in the league win a league?
Exactly.
And
Unbeaten.
I mean, we saw what the Bundesliga like what it is, right? And I get that, but like, it's not like to say he do it with Bayern. He do it against Bayern and do it undefeated, bro. Like, come on. Is that doing it too high? Is that too high, too fast?
No,
I
no.
confuse.
Now I feel because I look
No,
at
Brad, I'm
everybody
watching, man.
else.
Like if I
Nah,
skipping somebody obvious, but like, am I
Weapon
skipping
red pressure on
somebody?
my side, but let's stay away now.
nah. We just look at everybody. I really cannot look at these other managers and say, okay, when times get tough, they know how to actually adapt. Xavi did
Yeah.
it. He had the good and bad. He had the good in the Bundesliga. He had the bad at Real Madrid. He has that
And you know, it's the
experience.
funny thing, right? I think like a lot of times experiences make managers, right? I don't like the same person coming into the Chelsea job, whatever, the same one who didn't go through the bad experiences he went through at Madrid. Like, for example, right? I don't know if he'd have gone and signed Henderson and Welbeck if it is he didn't experience what he experienced at Madrid. You know, and see
Mhm.
that, you know what, I actually need these kind of authoritative figures in the window. And then, yeah, well, last on Arsenal, well, I feel very surreal that I got to live through the era of where no people, I was saying anything on any title. I was doing my very best up until Friday to put City as first. I really tried. I tried in every group chat I was in, but nobody's taking one apparently. Apparently signing $300 midfielders is not enough, but I digress. And look, yesterday really did put it into perspective for me that, hey, when it is I look at the group of players that we have, I look at our midfield group. I think it's the best in the league. I watch our defensive group is the best in the league. I got this point Raya, probably is the best keeper in the league. And it's just that the attack, if it is, I can keep these guys fit. And I was gonna say the most, and this is so woke and whatever else, but the most important side is that we did this summer was firing every single member of our fitness staff and performance staff and completely revamp the whole thing. And I've seen that we've tried things in terms of building players up in this summer that we've never tried before. Hopefully it does play out. Because I think that's the biggest difference we can make. If it is that everybody at this point now is not really the biggest fan of Odegaard, right? And I've been a big proponent of wanted to sell him, right? But then he played like he did yesterday. If it is that again, that for 75% of the season, no problem. The best player on the field by absolutely far. If it is like he keep Kai fit for most of the season, keep Saka fit for most of the season. I see Saka sprint yesterday, and I ain't see the whole of last year. If that's again, and yeah, I shouldn't be too worried. I would like an attacker signing, please. As we recording, it has some news breaking that apparently Bacola prefer London and whatever else. But like the truth is, guys, I have
Who's that hand of Arsenal so?
at this point, dog, I just too fatigued about this window. If I'll be very honest, like I just this might be very unk of me, but I just can't get with a lot of these prices of these players, and I
Yeah.
just don't have the energy for it, though. Like it just is what it is. And on the other hand, we signed somebody for 34 million who has a return in every game he's played for us and had 2 assists yesterday against Man City. And we lost Trossard, who I will allow up for. And obviously, as Yuan pointed out, we're gonna have miss Saliba for a while. I would like to sign a defender there, but I mean, I watched almost Mascara play yesterday. I was like, bro, this was absolutely fantastic performance. Near faultless from him. And Timber's supposed to be back soon. So, yeah. And then, dog,
John, I'll see you back with us. What's the way?
I didn't even know who it was. I just see
AFC Amden.
Okay, cool. I mean, guys, we seen the most random accounts popping up and knowing info, dog. Like, also,
Yo,
I'm
we
saying
seen
this to
AFC
say,
Amden.
yeah,
They don't
but
know anything.
I would like to say, though, it's not like to say, like, I hear that I want him per se, because at this point, I really just don't care that much. I mean, I do want somebody, but it's like, anyways, that's a whole other conversation. This is predictions. And like with the midfield, like Dog if Rice still play, he even started yesterday. We started Luis Kelly, Zubimendi, or Bruno G. Like, bro, come on, dog. I like that's actually what I would like to see this season is
So
to
let's
see
get
less
to
of
pens.
Saka and see less of Rice and these kind of things and play these men, play the group. Like play this group, they here for a reason. So yeah, we'll see how that go. Alright guys, so these other men, obviously I didn't talk about them just now. Both of them had Arsenal first. Villa, the Kiel had Chelsea second, and then United, which I knew already, and then Aidan had the Man City second. Okay, so we're gonna just speed run the categories from here on out. So, surprise, positive team. Well, I had Leeds because I thought having Leeds up there was surprise, but then all you had Bradford relegated, and I started to feel like is putting Bradford that high is surprise.
I think
But
I had
I
Leeds
think
too.
I had
I
Leeds
think
as a
Leeds
surprise.
having the big jump. They had the most increase of position. Virgil, who you having positive surprise? Well, Virgil has Spurs and taking the top 5, I think so.
Yeah.
No, it was Spurs. I feel like it'll be Spurs.
Savinho effect.
Aidan had a Villa as a positive surprise, and then the Kiel had God, the Keel sent this thing in 2 different messages. I gotta go in the next chapter.
That's so the kill.
The Keel said positive surprise was Fulham. Well, yeah, because he had Fulham like 68 or
Very
something.
high,
This now,
yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Negative surprise. What do you have?
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Virgil? I had Fulham. Well, I have Fulham getting relegated, so I
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Palace get relegated.
yeah, so fair enough. Then we have Aidan, who had negative surprise being Palace, because yeah, he also had Palace getting relegated. And then this one had, he sent one long paragraph. Oh God, but he had Man City. He bad note with it though and said nothing to do with the Community Shield. They're about to be toothless on the field and chaotic off it, leading to them fighting for a CL place close to the end of the season. So cool. He then left it blank for shock positive player. Then Eden had shock positive player as Palestra. What do you guys have for shock positive player?
You go first, Brandon. If you want.
I have Cookers.
Very nice.
I don't think that's surprising. I have Zolis.
Solace, yeah, nice. Virgil?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not sure if this would be like considered, but I felt like Harry Wilson would just find our next level. So I felt like
Interesting.
Dog, at this point, I feel like I don't go buy Brentford jersey or something because my surprise player is actually Jadon Anthony. I think he's going to score a lot of goals for them and take people by surprise.
That's so random.
That's so sorry, that's so random.
But yeah, like a generator, you just wow.
Yeah, like what?
Shock negative player. I have a bracket say I wanted to soft launch Bruno.
Wait,
but
you give Aidan on the kill? Aidan on the kill?
Yeah, I gave their one first.
sorry,
their
my
one
bad,
was Palestra was for Aidan and
Right.
the kill left his one blank. Yeah, it shocked negative player.
He'll never be shocked, bro. That's why the kill can't get shocked.
Yeah, he'll say when I ask him, so were you surprised by this? He'll be like, yes or no. Yes or no. Yeah, for shock negative. Where did he go? Oh, okay.
He swapped faces with Virgil.
Yeah. For shock negative, I put in brackets a soft launch Bruno, but I ain't going through that this hour.
I put Bruno.
So I also put Mainu though, because bro, when we watch Mendes sign, because all these United men was so vexed that he didn't get to play at the World Cup or whatever. Brother, this man not going to play for the United. No,
bro, if he was playing Liverpool in the World Cup, they would have become.
Bro, for Yuri Tillemans is gonna start over a minute, and that's just life, you know. And I think he's gonna have a downturn in this season. So yeah, but then I also had Bruno because this brother. But yeah. Anyways, let's talk about this man more than I need to. Brandon, we have a shock negative.
I have Raya.
Oh,
I like that.
Okay.
What do we say?
You had Raya up for player of the year last year, so for him to drop from that would be a negative. Virgil.
So you gotta switch stuff around.
I had Embuemo.
Would you be shocked if he negatively performs, Virgil?
Yeah, I feel that storyline. I feel it's going to set up the inevitable trying to force Rashford back.
Here what gonna be terrible. Imagine Amad Diallo start more.
Well, I have 3 Man men as shock negative player, by the way.
But then we have them in the top 5, eh?
In top
5.
Bro, because somebody else will pick up the slack.
That's a storyline.
So where's the shock Man player positive?
All right.
What did Aidan and the kill say?
They had their shout negative player. Aidan had Zubimendi, which is fair. And then the kill had...
I wouldn't be shocked.
Elliot Anderson. Without stealing midfield, Dominguez, no Sangari.
But who has him out for his opinion? If you want to give us opinion, come on the podcast and say it.
Plus Rodrigo. The options that are available will make him look bad. Different team may have managed it differently, but the personal City have don't fill me with confidence that he will look like last season.
Okay, I'm sorry for asking, okay? I'm sorry for asking. He making sense over there.
That's fair. Bounce back player. What do you guys have?
I have Tonali.
Very nice. Yeah. Good grief,
that
dog.
Just fell off my wall.
Good grief, dog. I didn't even think he gonna be here by the end of the window.
That is crazy.
Lord.
That is crazy.
That is
crazy.
Okay, bro.
That's what you want to happen.
I have made no secret that is what I want to happen. In any way, shape, or form have I hit that, right?
That's what you want to happen.
But I see this man is get shop around every week, dog, between Barcelona and Atletico. One of them is get... Dog, at this point, if only give me 30 million, I accept this, dog. I could not care. This man come on for 15 minutes yesterday, dog. And all my enjoyment. Just
Hey.
drop it.
Hey, the bounce back is player, not his first touch, boy. Was he player? Yeah, have.
Is you on a way we can't see him, or is he fixing something? Are you
He
fixing
fixing
something?
I can't. Yeah, it's all good. I just fixed something. in the
Okay,
back of
cool,
my-
nice.
Yeah. Something's fine.
He had Gyökeres. We have Virgil.
I have Harvey Elliott.
Woo!
No, that's
I like that.
That's hot.
is a
That's
good
hot.
one.
Yeah.
That's
That
hot.
is a good one. That is a good one.
I
I
had
like
Isak.
that read. I like that.
I had Isak. I think he can have a fantastic.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
Ah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yes,
bro.
yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
But I do
Anyway,
think I wouldn't be too like shocked if he bounced back. To be honest, like
No,
I
but
just
it's
think
not
that-
shock. It's not shock. It's like who stopped
True,
us
true,
last
true.
year?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Then, oh no, let me say what them men had. So then we had bounce back was Rashford. Only want to guess which one of the two of them say it?
Come
What?
on.
the keel.
The keel.
The Kiel, right? And then the other one was Euro for Aidan.
What
Bro,
you
what-
back from, bro?
Apparently,
Alright.
apparently Euro has been playing right back in preseason, so make up that way you will.
I'm glad that means that Euro had a bad season last season and we finally agreed on that.
Breakout player. So it had to be either under 21 player or any player who's making his debut in the Premier League.
I have Zolis.
Nah, I go
Fair.
I go with,
I was
with
tempted
Manzam.
also.
I go with Manzambi.
I have Victor Munoz.
All right.
Fair enough. And
Done?
I don't know if this had come because it's not really full season, but I had Gerald Hatto. I think by the end of the season he'd have become a starter for Chelsea. And I
Okay,
think that's a
I'll let
big
it shout,
win.
to be fair. Well, I was going to push Shavaria, actually, but that's only because he's first.
Yeah,
That's some
fair
good
enough.
picks, man. Both of those picks good.
Majo was for Aidan for the Villa
Oh,
striker.
that's a good pick too.
And then Bazuma Traore might cook is what the key.
He signed. Oh, who he signed for again?
He's a
Newcastle.
midfielder for Newcastle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. First manager to get his sack.
Pierre Sarge.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, just being
Well,
a bit.
yeah.
This is.
He
I
not
actually don't know if that.
Palestine
I don't.
related, so fair.
Yeah, this is just in my imaginary narrative, right? So,
Wow.
yeah.
Brandon.
I have Fabian Hutzler.
Really?
Well, you did have Brighton doing bad, so yeah, that's fair. Virgil.
I have the Newcastle manager.
Jassel.
Jassel,
Yeah.
whatever his name. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the key also had him, and Aidan had Abelo, and I also have Abelo. I mean, I've had him getting relegated.
Wow, you have no faith in Madrid, man. Boy.
Yeah, wait.
And then lastly is hot takes that you all have. So for me, the three that I have here is at least with a fight for Europe. Again, probably should have put some Brentford. Really
Not very hot, is
That's
it?
not that hot, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, only
That's
completely
a lukewarm
spoiled
take.
my whole Leeds vibe coming in here with it. Chelsea will finish the season with no red cards, and then the last one
Hey.
would have been.
Hey.
And the last one actually is that I think we'll see more set piece goals this season than last, and the reason
Oh
behind
God,
it
I stopped watching football.
I actually think like these rules is actually going to
Jeez.
allow for easier path to goal in the box, because if you could
You would know.
make if you can make less contact, then like bro, these men who are attacking the ball gonna have an easier run and goal. So we'll see how it goes.
I guess. I
Yeah.
hear you. And that is hot,
Let's-
though. I would say that's hot.
Brandon,
good.
go next now. What hot takes you out?
Haaland to score 40 goals.
Oh,
I like it. I like it.
João Pedro to score 25 without pens.
Okay.
all right. So like the Haaland one
I'm
was
bringing
like,
them both into my
okay, yeah,
field.
brother. But Pedro, that hot though, but fair.
Because he
Right.
won't take any pens, right? Because
Yeah.
Palmer will be on pens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
And the last one, which I probably think is the hottest of all of them, by the start of November, each team would have lost a game.
Okay.
Okay,
Fair.
interesting.
No, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Okay. You and what was the ones you have, bro?
Arsenal moonwalk to the title.
That not hot, boy. That hot
Alright,
like
okay.
space.
Fair enough. I think they'll have like a run like Liverpool 2020 where they just don't lose until like they might go, the Invincibles narrative might become a thing.
Okay, well then you and I on either side of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but Chelsea pump fake title charge.
Yeah.
You're saying that like 3 years in a row, bro?
I want to be right at some point. Dog, you saying Brentford getting relegated 5 years
Nah,
ago.
two,
It's
two,
like,
two, two, two,
2 years.
and then this one is not really that hot, I don't think, but I think Victor Nunez will be starting games for Liverpool sooner rather than later. Like he'll become a starter.
Brother,
So yeah.
brother, did you get these hot takes in an ice cream shop?
Virgil,
I microwave them.
Nah, I didn't have much hot takes, but
which one of them
mainly,
is related to how Enzo Fernandez and Anderson gonna play together?
Dan, please, I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that. But I feel
Go ahead.
first one, I feel Chelsea's gonna spend more time in first than Arsenal this season.
Oh wow,
And
that is very hot actually. Wow.
And I'm bringing back my shout I had about João Pedro. I'm bringing him back. I feel like this season with the point to prove, I don't feel he's going to get a golden boot, but I feel he's going to come second. I feel he's going to challenge heavy for that golden boot.
Fair enough. Yeah, let me see what these guys had. So we had United this one was Eden. United will underperform in the league, especially if they haven't signed a left back, a CDM, a backup striker, and a right back.
Wow.
So if they don't sign 4 men, they're going to underperform.
I mean, fair enough.
It is a
Newcastle, he say Arsenal will win the league by at least 10 points. He said Newcastle might go close to relegation. And he said Fulham get relegated. Well, that is a hot take in itself, apparently. But yeah. Then we have the Kiel, who surprisingly did not give him 100 characters per answer. Tottenham 6 minimum. Igor Thiago not to cross 10 goals. And he say Hala.
What do you say?
Man, get up and leave us.
All right. Right. So all I remember, we had a slightly viral moment where that Chino up to this day will not let Brandon forget. Where Brandon did predict that nobody would cross 20 goals. The Kiel said, bye you on. It was nice. We're up now anyway.
Thank you guys. Chat soon. But what I hear is that go ahead. Yeah.
The Kiel said that Haaland scrapes 20 goals, 21 goals max.
And I say the man and I say the man will score 40.
What that, guys?
Yeah, that
what a great start to the season.
Bro, I actually really enjoyed this episode. And I'm so intrigued to see how this season starts off. I cannot believe that this Friday the league kicks off. So guys, be with us. We have some great guests lined up over the next few weeks as well to talk about various different things, both local and foreign. And we are planning to do more content this year. I know I probably said that every year, but like there's some changes in life that are happening that probably is allowing that some more interactive content as well. So look out for that as well. If you have not already, you can join our WhatsApp chat. It's open anyway. All you have to do is just DM the page and we'll send you the link. And yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for your time. And catch you guys next time. See you soon. Take it easy later.